England invented football, not as a metaphor. Literally, the Football Association was founded in London in 1863. The rules of the modern game were written there. Every World Cup, every Champions League, every Premier League, every billion-pound transfer. It all traces back to England. England has won the World Cup once, in 1966, at home. That was 60 years ago. In those 60 years, England also built something else. The most commercially powerful football league on earth. A league that generates more money, attracts more global talent, and commands more attention than any competition in the sport's history. And here is the question nobody asked clearly enough. What if those two things, inventing football and building that league, are connected to why England keeps losing? What if England's greatest achievement is also England's biggest trap? To understand the trap, you first have to understand what existed before it. Wembley, England versus West Germany in the World Cup final. Alf Ramsey had done something radical. He removed the wingers. The press called them the wingless wonders and thought it sounded like an insult. It wasn't. It was a tactical revolution. A narrow shape built around industrious midfielders, central overloads, and suffocating defensive control. Pay attention to this. England did not concede a single goal in their first 4 matches of the tournament. Goalkeeper Gordon Banks went 721 minutes between conceding. The first goal England allowed came in the semi-final. Geoff Hurst scored a hat-trick in the final. Bobby Moore lifted the trophy. Kenneth Wolstenholme delivered the most famous line in football commentary history. England were world champions. But here is the detail that matters more than the result itself. Ramsey didn't just win a tournament. He built a specific system, one so tied to his own intelligence and instincts that no England manager has successfully replicated it since. When Ramsey left, the system left with him. England's only World Cup was not the beginning of a new era. It was the ceiling that everything since has been measured against. And the ceiling has never been touched again. What followed was not a series of random bad luck events. It was a pattern, the same genre of failure, in different costumes, generation after generation. 7 quarterfinal exits, more than any other nation in World Cup history. Think about that. Not knocked out in the final, not eliminated in the semis. The quarterfinal, the same locked door 7 times. But 3 moments carry the most meaning. 1970. England are leading West Germany 2-0. Ramsey substitutes Bobby Charlton to protect him for the semi-final. Germany score 3. Tactical caution chose the future over the present, and lost both. 1986, Argentina, Diego Maradona, 4 minutes. He punches the ball into the net with his hand. The referee misses it. And then, same player 4 minutes later, scores what FIFA voted the greatest goal in World Cup history. A weaving 60-meter run past 5 England players. England lost to both cheating and genius in the same 4 minutes. But the moment that transcended football came in 1990. West Germany again, semi-final, penalties. Paul Gascoigne picks up a yellow card, a booking that would have ruled him out of the final. His face crumbles. He starts crying on the pitch in front of the whole world. Stuart Pearce misses. Chris Waddle's penalty flies over the bar. England are out. That image, Gaza crying, opened English football to people who had never cared about it before. A man weeping for his country became the emotional entry point for a generation. 3 different reasons, 3 different opponents, always the same outcome. That is not bad luck. That is a pattern. And the reason the pattern never broke is the story nobody was telling. In 1992, England did something extraordinary. The top clubs broke away from the Football League and formed the Premier League. Within a decade, it became the richest, most watched domestic competition in football history. By 2023, UEFA data showed its clubs generating around 7.15 billion euros in annual revenue. In the summer of 2025 alone, Premier League clubs spent £3 billion in transfers, 51% of all spending across Europe's 5 major leagues. The world's best players came. The world's best coaches came. The spectacle became extraordinary. But here is the part that never gets said clearly enough. A league can be perfect for global entertainment and simultaneously imperfect for national team development. Both things can be true at the same time. The Premier League allowed clubs to field up to 17 non-homegrown players in a 25-man squad. That is not a majority of homegrown players required. It is a majority of foreign players permitted. The incentive for clubs was clear. Buy the finished product from anywhere on earth because the commercial stakes are too high to wait for a local teenager to develop. According to The Guardian, only around 3% of Premier League academy players ever reach the top level. But the most important comparison is this one. In 2003, Germany looked at their own league and saw the same problem. Too many foreign players, not enough minutes for young German talent. Their national team was struggling. Germany made a structural decision. They imposed requirements that forced clubs to develop local players. They built regional academies. They changed the incentives. 11 years later, Germany won the 2014 World Cup. England saw the same problem. England introduced training centers, youth plans, and development programs. But England never changed the incentive structure that mattered most. The Premier League's freedom to keep buying the world, while English players kept watching from the bench during the exact years when they should have been developing. And the national team kept walking into tournaments with talent assembled from different clubs, different systems, different philosophies, and no common language to make it work. England built a league so powerful it attracted the world's best players, and in doing so, quietly stopped producing enough of its own. The clearest human proof of the system's failure is the golden generation. Beckham, Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes, Terry, Ferdinand, Owen, Cole. In 2001, the FA's chief executive coined the phrase, "It was meant as a promise. It became a curse. Pay attention to this." That squad never got past a quarterfinal. 7 exits at the quarterfinal stage is England's record. And the generation with the most individual talent produced the same result as every generation before it. The specific failure was precise enough to diagnose. Gerrard and Lampard were 2 of the best midfielders in the world. At Liverpool and Chelsea, respectively, they were transformative. Together for England, they couldn't function in the same system. They occupied the same space. They competed for the same role. And rather than solve it, England pushed Paul Scholes, one of the finest midfielders of his generation, to the left wing to make room for both of them. In 2025, Gerrard looked back on that era and called them egotistical losers. Not for lack of talent, for lack of unity, for the absence of a shared system that turned individual greatness into collective function. Players developed in carefully constructed club machines, called up for England, asked to discard everything they knew, and told to become a team in days. The Premier League produced supercars. England kept asking those supercars to drive on roads they were never built for. England has not been irrelevant. That is what makes this story survive. In 2018, they reached a World Cup semifinal for the first time in 28 years, led Croatia after 5 minutes, lost 2-1 in extra time. In 2021, they reached a major final on home soil at Wembley, for the first time since 1966, lost on penalties to Italy. Rashford hit the post. Sancho's penalty was saved. Saka's was saved. 3 young players carrying 55 years of history in front of their own crowd. In 2022, England were the better team against France for long stretches. Kane missed a penalty in the 84th minute that would have made it 2-2. He later called it the worst moment of his career. This is England's story, not a team that is simply bad, not a team that is simply unlucky, a team that keeps arriving with enough to hurt and finding the same ceiling. Pay attention to what connects these moments. 2018, 2021, 2022, different tournaments, different opponents, different managers. Same fundamental truth. England keeps producing players good enough to get close, never quite a system complete enough to get through. That is the real inheritance of the Premier League paradox. Not failure, something worse than failure. Permanent proximity to the thing England can't quite reach. The country that invented football, that built the richest league in the world, that gave the planet its greatest club spectacle. Still asking the same question every 4 years. How can the country that taught the world this game still be watching someone else lift the trophy? 60 years. The same question. And the most powerful football machine on earth still hasn't answered it.